You are listening to Mishknei Elyon with Rabbi David Katz and Malcolm.
Hi, Rabbi Katz. How are you?
I'm good, Malcolm. How are you doing?
Doing well, thanks.
All right, we are in the Mishknei Elyon Heavenly Temple, and you know the drill. Go ahead and read the English, and then we'll oscillate back and forth. Go ahead.
Okay, let's
Just-
top of page 67.
Yeah, just read the first. Read your first paragraph.
The future temple, Keter. But in time to come, when the hidden beginning I mentioned is revealed, the happiness will be far, far greater, and it will never cease. All things emanate from their source. Likewise, all the rules governing the lights and their functioning, whether in motion or at rest, follow their source. Any change in the source from which the light proceeds affects the whole world. For this reason, in time to come, the world will undergo many changes, and the Holy Temple will certainly be different, since this is the place from which life is channeled to all the creatures in all the world.
So he wants to say that. Remember, we were talking about the light goes higher and higher.
Yeah.
He wants to say it's happiness that'll never end.
Right.
Do you believe him?
On a faith basis, I can believe it, and it's hard to conceive, but yeah.
No. Do you believe the English?
Oh, yeah, I usually do.
We don't know what the word happy is.
True.
So let's find out. Ready? Go ahead. Start over again. Go ahead.
But in time to come, when the hidden beginning I mentioned is revealed,
אבל העתיד בהגלס הראשיס הנעלם,
the happiness will be far, far greater.
אשר דברתי תהיה השלווה רבה יויסר מאוד. It does not say happy, I'm sorry to tell you.
What does it say?
Shalva raba yoter meod. Shalva is, I want to say this the best way. Shalva is the opposite of troubled. You know how in your life there's times that are good and there's times that are not good? Right?
Yeah.
And then there's times that are really good. It doesn't have to be exciting and happy. It's just good times, right?
Right.
That's what he means. The good times, let the good times roll, so to speak. You're not going to have the burst and the good times. You know when you usually get, when the bubble bursts and you're done for a little while.
Right.
So that bubble will not be burst ever again. There won't be, he doesn't say a bursting bubble, so to speak. He says a hefsek. A hefsek is like a partition in the good times. I think it was Jerry Seinfeld. How do you say this joke? It was happiness is the space in between all the troubles in life. So imagine that the troubles don't come. It's just the good times.
Right. Okay. I can see that.
Yeah. So it's not like things are, fantasy land. It's just because the root is revealed, you don't consider it a bad thing anymore.
Right. There's no. Yeah. Okay. I see.
So there's nothing to get upset over. I mean, we say in this world it's Amunah B'Tachon, right?
Yeah.
In that world, it's revealed. I don't know. Let's say you got to move to Kansas tomorrow.
Right.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a reason to be upset.
Right.
Because because what if I told you right now it's Malcolm, the Mashiach came yesterday and it's Olam Haba now. And you trust me because I'm a good rabbi, right?
Right.
So you told your whole family, hey everybody, it's all good, Mashiach came, right?
Yeah.
I said, hey Malcolm, you got to move to Kansas tomorrow. Eliyahu Navi told me to tell you. Would you really care?
No, I wouldn't care. Do it.
I mean, because you would know it's redemption. It can only be good.
Right. Exactly.
There's no, by definition, there's nothing wrong. I'll give you an example. Have you ever ordered a pizza before?
Yeah.
Has it ever gone wrong? But not. But I mean, in general, you see what I'm saying? You order if you're hungry and you order pizza, you're probably gonna be okay.
Yeah.
It's everything becomes pizza.
Yeah, that's true.
So some things are just not there. There's no harm. Or have you ever ordered a smoothie in the mall?
Yeah.
Has that ever gone wrong for you?
No.
Smoothies don't go wrong. They just don't. Even when they're bad, they're still okay.
Yeah, that's true.
So life becomes on that level. It doesn't dip, right? Go ahead.
All things emanate from their source.
And it comes out, Shekol Dvarim Holchim Acher Makoram. Everything comes from their source. Go ahead.
Likewise, all the rules governing the life of their functioning,
Keep going.
whether in motion or at rest, follow their source.
I don't know anything what he's talking about, but let me say what I got. Ubihiyos Makor Echad. They're all from one source. Kol Mishpate Hamaoros Halichosehim. Here's that word Mishpate. Ready?
Yeah.
All the Mishpate of the lights in their travels, their journeys, they're going out. They're standing tall and they're sitting down. All of them are going according to the source.
Right.
So there's no fluke. Everything, it just emanates and is. Even you. So if you have a source, you cannot be flawed. Right? If you're perceived as bad, you're not. You're just Malcolm. That's just your source. It's like saying, imagine in a chess game, the bishop is the best piece because it goes in straight diagonal lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that the knight is flawed because it goes in L patterns? No, it's just what it does. But when you first play chess, you think the knight's a weird piece. Like, why does it do that? Because that's what it does.
Right.
Now, why is it called mishpate? Called mishpate. I think mishpate is because that's what it is. It's the pattern. It is what it is. It's dictation on the piece. You did that, Malcolm. Why did you do that to me? Well, this world it's called a crime. In that world, it's called what you do. It's what you do to people like me. You understand?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so we understand each other. It's only when you become in klippa, because you're self-conscious, maybe you do something illegal according to what you do. But if you lift yourself out of klippa, you still do what you do. You just don't do it illegally anymore.
Right.
All the things illegal you do, you're doing it just in klippa. So it becomes evil. Basically, like in kindergarten, when you stole the glue, they said, Malcolm, we don't steal here. Well, were you stealing, or were you just unaware of the concept of please and thank you?
Didn't know.
You just didn't know. So then when they made you self-conscious about it, you always steal the glue, Malcolm. Then you grow up to be a person who always steals, because that's what I was told. That's how you get things done. But at the end of the day, you can elevate that out of klippa, because your source was not to steal. It was that I just didn't know we have to say please and thank you in kindergarten. But then you build a life of klippa around the learned behavior. I mean, whatever the story is. I mean, that's just one dramatization. Go ahead.
Right. Any change in the source from which the lights receive affects the whole world.
Wait. So I'm still behind. You're going to have to repeat that 1 second. I'm still behind you. Hold on. And then there's like a loftier level. Yishtanu al piv kol advarim kulam. What is that? Did you read that? Wait, what's that?
I don't think I have that.
Where the motion follow their source, any change. Yeah, wait, what is that? Hold on. Yeah. I don't think you do. What is that? Ubiyos hamakor nishkav yoser Yishtanu al piv. Ah, ubiyos makor. There's the higher, loftier source. Remember the source of sources. It changes or is governed by his mouth. Everything. Remember how there's the grafting.
Right.
So your source is wisdom. It's almost like you have a computer, and your computer is wisdom, right?
Right.
You can choose to run Windows, Apple, or Linux, but it's the same computer. Let's just call it that, right? So there's a wisdom called Malcolm, but God can program Malcolm wisdom to whatever God wants. Right, Malcolm, if Malcolm's a computer game, he has level 5 of strength, speed, and wit, right? And that's called a firefighter. The wisdom of Malcolm is a firefighter. But God can make it however God wants. So 555 on that scale of 1 through 10, these three fives, God's infinite wisdom. That's also called a doctor. Only God knows why, right? The three firefighter skills, God can take those skills and make it synonymous with being a surgeon. So Malcolm's still Malcolm. You look the same, act the same, but God can apply the wisdom however he wants from the sources. Go ahead and read your sentence now.
Any change in the source from which the lights receive affects the whole world.
Al Cain. Therefore, Shinoyim Rabim Yiyu Ba'olam Bizmanahu. There will be many changes in that world. The Koshik. I think you're missing a lot of stuff here. I think.
Difficult?
What?
Is the Hebrew difficult? Maybe that's why.
It's not that hard. It's just this is why boys and girls, we don't trust English, and this is why. Kol shekain habayit hakadosh asher kvar shamata ki hu hamakom mimenu totzot chayim lakul asher nivra bakul ha'olamus. All the more so, the holy temple. Yeah, you have that.
Yeah, I have that.
I don't know how it matches up, but anyways, go ahead and read that in English.
For this reason, in time to come, the world will undergo many changes. And the Holy Temple will certainly be different, since this is the place from which life is channeled to all creatures in all the world.
Yeah.
The first temple, then, corresponds to Chokhmah, the wisdom that was given to Solomon.
Wait a minute. Ki al kin yishna me'od b'ma shehaya berishona. Right, the world will change because once God has the golem, so to speak, God can institute any formatting or programming to the creation. And nothing changes, but yet everything changes. Go ahead. The first temple, Besoda Chachma, Ki Chachma Shenitna L'Shlomo. Solomon built the temple with that wisdom. Go ahead.
While the future temple corresponds to the hidden beginning that is yet to be revealed.
Right, so therefore, now there's a diuk here. You know what a diuk is?
No.
An inference. There's a very important inference here. Very, 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 very big inference. What's the inference?
Let's see. The inference is, the first temple then corresponds to Chokhmah, the wisdom given to Solomon, and with which he built the temple. While the future temple corresponds to the hidden. So the future temple doesn't have to be built?
Exactly. It can only be built by God.
Right.
That's the idea that it comes from heaven.
Right.
By Ramchal's dictations, you can't build the third temple. You can only build Solomon's temple because it came from wisdom. You cannot build this. It is impossible to build this.
Right.
It can only come from Shamayim. So what that means in terms of as it happens, no one knows. And you know why no one knows?
Why?
Because you can't know.
Right.
See, once you even say you know, you're saying you know how to build it.
Right. That's already possible.
Yeah, that's right. So you don't know, you know that you can't build it. God has to bring it. But if you say, well, that's ridiculous. What's he going to do? Bring a building from heaven? That's your wisdom. Yasher koyach. Way to go. I'm glad you know how to do it. You cannot have an opinion other than you know what I'm saying? It's coming from heaven and God, and therefore that's where it stops. Because you cannot say anything more on what that means or what it doesn't mean. Anything you say is your wisdom, and therefore it's not it.
Right.
Go ahead.
Nevertheless, there is certainly nothing new under the sun. All the changes and developments that have taken place and continue to take place every single day for the 6,000 years of creation were decreed at the very outset. Even so, in time to come, when the boundaries of Chokmah are surpassed, the world will enter a new state of joy.
Wait.
This is a great...
It doesn't say that. Is that what he says? Someone want to say, really? Or does he say that? Hold on. Yeah, we'll enter a new state of joy. No, it won't. You're gonna laugh when I tell you what it means. But the point is that in the beginning, God created this world for the sake of this world, but also for the sake of the world to come. I'll give you an example. I have kids, right?
Yeah.
When I buy toys for my kids, not so much now, but before, I didn't buy them based on what Reuven wanted to play with now. You know how I judge the toys?
Oh.
What will he play with now, and what will be a good toy to play with once it's broken?
Huh.
You see my point?
Yeah.
You want the toy to break well, because it's going to break.
Inevitable, right?
Yeah. So in this world, it has a function. Let's say that I have a computer monitor in this world. God makes it so that the computer monitor serves a function in the world to come as well. So this world allowed it to come into creation with a certain wisdom, and then in the world to come, I mean, who knows? We don't know what really a computer monitor is. We're told that it's for computers. It could be, who knows? God has a purpose for these things. We don't know what they are. So we use them in lower scenarios in our world. We don't know what the new higher wisdom is. Everything you see is subordinated to a lower wisdom. You don't know yet what the higher purpose is. And Kirak kakluso ze igbo rishon ye chidish. How do you say that? Kaklalus. How do you say that? Yeah, it's finished. Only when the first border is finished. It'll be a chiddush. So it doesn't say joy. It says chiddush. Isn't that different?
That's really different.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm taking my time with this. So it's gonna be a chiddush. That's really amazing. That's why you're gonna be happy.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you're gonna be in a state of shalva. So everything is gonna become. There's infinite vessels in our world, and then therefore there's grounds for infinite chidushim. Everything is a chiddush. When you know how you get the chiddush? When you will realize what the true purpose of everything is, each thing at a time. Like, you don't even know what a mailbox is. You think you know. There's going to be a time when you're going to realize what a mailbox is. Like, let's, I don't know, I'll make a fake example. I mean, just a really stupid fake example. Let's say that Torah travels the globe, always has, right? So you're going to be walking down the street one day and you're going to see a mailbox and it's going to hit you. Oh, the mailbox is the original, program that allows the Torah to travel around the world. Right? Torah is meant to travel by mail. And then you'll understand, wow, that must be what email's for. And that's really what Twitter's for. And the whole internet, then you're just going to go on a whole thing about it's going to blow your mind.
Right.
And I didn't tell you that. No one told you that. You just realized it just hit you. It just hit you. And then you're going to go to somewhere and say, you're not going to believe this. I totally get now like what mail's all about. And they're going to say, wow, I thought the same thing. I didn't know, it's just, you see what I'm saying? It just is one huge mind-blowing enlightening, going back to the source experience. Everything all that information becomes revealed, but in steady doses that doesn't overload society and life. Go ahead.
Right. This is a great fundamental, though I will not discuss it at length now. Let me just say briefly that initially God made all things the way they are now on the basis of Chokhmah alone.
Wait a minute. Yeah, I'm not too impressed. V'zeh ikar gadol. You got that word ikar is a big deal. V'zeh ikar gadol. V'zeh, and this is v'zeh ikar gadol. Like this is really the principle of everything. Therefore, I'm not going to explain it to you now. Aval zeh ha'emet. But this is the truth. Ki bavor zeh asa Hashem etachila eskol dvarim lefi ma shehem al pi chokhmah levad. It's because of Keter that God made everything now. See, God wants to blow your mind in the world to come, right?
Right.
So he creates a world of chokhmah. It's it's like in marriage, and probably let's call it the ideal marriage. They marry based on, let's call it good looks and personality, right?
Yeah.
And let's say you figured out you wanted to be a photographer. You kind of knew it, but you didn't really know it. So it came out, and your wife embraced it, and then you found out, and she found out that she has a brilliant wisdom of whatever you need in photography, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you thought you got along on good looks and charm. It turns out you guys have a partnership in deeply invested wisdom. You see my point?
Yeah.
You became the ultimate partnership not because of what you thought. So I bought a computer with a monitor because I thought I wanted to, use a computer and see my browser. Just very practical. It turns out the monitor, again, I'll just make this up. Let's say that the monitor is really Metatronic consciousness, and that's how information spreads. I mean, whatever it is, but the point is that this world is low, and we buy into it in order for the sake of the revelation that's waiting for us, which is why this world was created. Go ahead.
Yet they contain within them the power to be ordered according to the supreme beginning.
Ubehem koyach liyoit od lefi harishon ha'elyon, harishis ha'elyon. Yeah, you have room to grow here. You have potential that you don't even know. Ubehagalus ze harishis. This will reveal. This is the reveal. Ubehagalut ze harishis. Wait, go ahead and read.
And when this beginning is revealed, everything will be drawn after it through the original power already planted within them at the outset.
Right.
Right.
Good.
The entire creation will then be renewed as if it was born at that moment. That is why Isaiah spoke of the new heavens and the new earth.
That's it. All right, next paragraph.
The third temple was built above at the time of the destruction of the first temple. And now I will reveal a very great secret, so apply your intelligence resolutely in order to descend to the depths of the matter. Know that this future temple is the one that Ezekiel the prophet saw immediately after the destruction of the first temple. You have already heard that the temple above never ceased to exist, even though the temple below was destroyed. For the temple in this world could only be built through the great power of the lights, which radiated from level to level until they reached this world, producing the temple. In the absence of this power, the temple could not remain in this world. But this did not mean that the heavenly temple had to be destroyed. It simply became darkened and did not shine as at first.
Wait a minute. Yeah, that's at Hadar. God darkened Hadar. Go ahead.
You want me to say the next paragraph?
Just keep reading here.
However, those familiar with the paths of wisdom know a great secret.
Wait. I don't like how you're saying that. Aval hasod hagadol hanoda bezeh ha'inyan lemishu morgal elechem b'darkei hachachma. There's a great secret to those that know it in this matter, that go in the ways of wisdom. Go ahead.
Had those who lived when Solomon built the first temple.
Wait a minute.
Not followed.
Wait. And those that stand in the secret of God and know His ways. Who ki ka'asher bona shlomo is by the rishon ulecheto ella hayu machzakim. Okay, go ahead.
But held firm to the path of purity, they would have ascended from level to level until everything was perfected.
Right. So that temple, because of it was being the level of that wisdom, then by definition they could have flown their out of wisdom. They could have elevated to the source. Go ahead.
The world was then simply have changed directly from one state to another.
Right. Each level of revelation would have led to another higher level of revelation. So when we get there, it's going to be like a plateau, right? Of us going from like Mario Brothers, left to right, to just, revelation to revelation. Theirs was more vertical, going up, right? From because it was already built. For us, it's just going to be here. We go like Mario, left to right. For them, it was about going up and connecting to the root. Go ahead.
The world, and what was to have been revealed would have been revealed. But the influence of evil and the proliferation of sinners caused the destruction of the first temple that was built according to the initial design. When this happened, the heavenly temple no longer stood in its original form. In a single moment, it disappeared and was rebuilt in a different form and structure, that of the future temple. One building disappeared, and the other appeared without so much as a hair's breadth between them. However, the new structure was not revealed in the lower world. Only in the future will it be revealed. But in the upper world, from that day on, so it was, and so it is. That is why Ezekiel saw it, for it was already built and standing. Had the Jewish people only been worthy, the redemption in the time of Ezra should have been like the redemption from Egypt, and their entry into the land should have been like Joshua's entry. Then they would have built the temple according to the plan seen by Ezekiel, and the two temples above and below would have been perfectly aligned.
Because Ezekiel saw, he was the prophet, he saw the vision.
Mm-hmm.
He had the revelation of Keter. That's pretty amazing.
So what was the form of the heavenly temple before the destruction of the first? Because it says it changed.
It was the source of Solomon's wisdom.
Right.
Now it's not the source of Solomon's wisdom. Now it is the source of the world to come. Remember, God changes the programming.
Right.
They would have spent eternity reaching Ezekiel's temple, we have Ezekiel's temple, we will live it for eternity.
Right. Okay, I see.
So what does it mean that Ezekiel saw Keter? How does that work? Man, his prophecy is pretty intense.
That's very intense.
Yeah, I don't think we can know because it's Keter. He was taken to a very high place. Read the next paragraph. Go ahead.
The differences between the presence of the Shekinah and the first and second temples. Since the people failed to improve their ways, the redemption in the time of Ezra was a quiet affair, and they did not have the strength to build a temple according to the plan of the future temple. On the instructions of the prophets among them, they built it partly like the first temple and partly like the future temple, which already existed above. But the time was not right for them to build it entirely like the future temple.
Wait a minute, you've lost me completely. This is different. They didn't improve their ways. It was a partial redemption, a quiet redemption. They didn't have the power, strength to perform and make like this temple. V'azasu also alpi neviim shebeneim. So they made it like the prophets among them. Ktsat dome el harishon. A little bit like the first. Ktsat dome el ha'achron. A little bit like the last. Shekvar nischadish lamala. Because it was already made, it was already redone above. Efis katseu lakacho v'kulo lo lakacho. Ki lo aisa hasha ruya lakach. It wasn't the time for the third temple. The upper and lower, the times of Shlomo were aligned. Therefore, for sure, there was the Shekhinah and the rest that was placed on it. The second was not aligned to the third, so there was no heaven on earth. There was nothing divine, so the Shekhinah was gone. Because in Shlomo's temple, there was an elevation going on. So the sins were much worse with Solomon because you're sinning with the Shekhinah.
Wow. Yeah.
And here, at least if you sin, you're not doing it in God's light. But it was a punishment because now the sinning was because there was no light. I just wonder what does it mean that they didn't have the power to make it like the temple. What did Ezekiel have and what were they missing? Because they did it according to the prophets among them.
Right.
So it may have been pretty bad because it sounds to me that they weren't agreeing on what it should be. There were arguments, and
right.
and we see it today. We know history about Ezra and Ezekiel that they didn't. They didn't that's the whole thing. It's Keter and building it. They didn't understand. They didn't understand it, and Ezekiel couldn't explain it.
So they had no choice but to build it the other way because they didn't know.
Yeah. And Ezekiel would have had to have been Mashiach.
Right.
But he wasn't. God didn't make him Mashiach. It's that simple. But so the time wasn't right. So he had his prophecy. It's a miracle they even put the prophecy in the Tanakh. But they knew that it wasn't the third temple, so they had to. And they knew, they must have, I don't know how they knew. Someone knew that Yechezkel had the true prophecy. But then again, why wouldn't they? If they knew, then why?
Why not build it like that?
Yeah. That's yeah. I guess because Yechezkel's prophecy has a lot of contradictions. It just it was
Right, yeah.
it just couldn't they couldn't do it. Yeah, very difficult thing. Very, very difficult. Go ahead.
Presence of the Shekinah in the future temple. However, in time to come, not only will the two temples be similar, but the upper house will extend until it reaches the lower world. This is the meaning.
Wait. Say it again.
The upper house will extend until it reaches the lower world.
So that there it is. There's your answer. That's how the temple's built.
Oh, it has to come. Right, I see.
The upper temple will reach the lower temple
But why couldn't that have been done in Ezra's time?
because God didn't send the temple.
Right. But it says they didn't have the power. You know, what was lacking on their part?
To receive the temple. Go ahead.
This is the meaning of the saying of our rabbis that the third temple will be the work of the hands of God. So the heavenly temple will not be uprooted from its place. Rather, it will extend until it reaches the lower world, and then around it will be built a physical structure as fitting in this material world. And the two structures will be joined and become one and will never again separate. God's glory will be fully revealed there, as it is written, and the glory of God will be revealed, and all flesh will see. Then there will be complete peace and happiness forever.
Wait. No, there won't be. Shalva Gemora, velo hefsek klal. There will be perfect shalva. Good.
There is an allusion to this secret in the verse, the sanctuary, Lord, that your hands established. The beauty of the limbs and ornaments of the Shekinah is revealed according to the way she receives.
Wait. Ki Shechina kfi kablosa. Because the Shekhinah is according to how she's received. So we have to receive. Also, we have the Kabbalah of receiving. That's how you get the third temple is built by you receiving it. See, there's gonna be a Mashiach who's gonna be like Yechezkel. Yechezkel went up. He saw it up. Then there's we say if you don't build it with a laborers labor in vain. There's going to be a Mashiach to receive the third temple. Right? God's going to send the third temple's influence down. When it's here, which some say it was Hanukkah. Right, the light that came down on Hanukkah, which is not done. Hanukkah's conclusion is the complete redemption. I say that because the Maccabees were Kohanim, and then Yechezkel was a Kohen. That we have to receive the Shekhinah from above. Remember, Shekhinah is Malchus, Hadar. It's that same level. You have to receive it as it is on Atzilus, here. Then you will understand how to build it. Basically, there will be Hadar, as the Ba here says, given in this world, which is all that stuff, the jewelry, the beauty, the limbs. And then with Hadar, you are like, it's like a honing device to receive Malchus, and you will be able to build the temple. Which is, you're not building it, you're just implementing how to receive the upper temple. Go ahead.
When the light of this beginning will shine, the glory of her crown will be greatly exalted.
So Keter will be shown through Sachar and Dar.
Thus, the sanctuary will be built on the foundation of Keter, and the numerical value of the letters of the word Konenu is equivalent to that of
126.
Okay, 126, which shines in this crown.
Which is the same as the full spelling of the Shem Adnus, Aleph, Aleph Daled Nun, Aleph Daled Nun Yud, which shines in this crown. And that name is connected to the Malchus, so we got it. Keep going.
All these matters are very deep and far more rooted in wisdom than might appear.
Yeah, so we have to have the wisdom of Solomon to build our temple, because that's what Solomon's temple represented, reaching the third temple. But Solomon tried to go like Yechezkel. So Yechezkel, basically Solomon needed Yechezkel in his generation.
Right.
But Solomon's job was to reach that level. Yechezkel was missing Solomon, and Solomon was missing Yechezkel. Then, because of Yechezkel, now it's fit. We now need still the same game plan. We need a Yechezkel Solomon in our generation to understand the root and understand the wisdom to build the temple. That's Mashiach. That's what Mashiach is. He's got the power of Yechezkel and Solomon.
Did you say that for the two Mashiach? Mashiach and Yosef, Mashiach and David?
Yeah, technically, the Sukkah 52b says the four craftsmen, Mashiach and David, Mashiach and Yosef, their portion is building the third temple.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you say Solomon then would be? I don't know which one's which. I would just call it the two messiahs.
Right.
Train Mashiach.
Working in unity.
Yeah. Actually, no, it's not. It's not Mashiach and David, Mashiach and Yosef. In terms of that, it's the train Mashiachin, but it's under the. I just saw this. It's you know how the builders of the Mishkan were Bezalel and the guy whose name that no one knows how to pronounce from the tribe of Dan.
Yeah.
So that is the fractal of how to build the temple. That's written in the Rizal and all Kabbalah. Basically, it's for the tribe of Judah and the tribe of Dan, and Dan is related to Yosef in this regard. The process of Mashiach and Yosef, Mashiach and David. So yeah.
Right.
I think we'll stop there.